everyone, my name is Miss Sanaya, and today we are out in the garden and we're going to learn about how to clean up a garden bed and how to get it ready to plant new seeds for the spring. So let's go through all of the steps together. Okay, so the first step is harvesting. Harvesting is when we take the nicely grown fruits or vegetables that are in our garden bed and we remove them so that way we can wash them and eat them at our dinner table. So today we are going to harvest something called mustard greens. You can actually see them right here. They have these big green leaves and people cook them and they eat them sometimes with meat or they eat them as a side for their protein. And so we're going to go through how to harvest mustard greens together first. Okay, so now we're going to go through the process on how to actually harvest. So I've put on my gloves, I have a plastic bag, and I'm going down all the way to the root of the mustard greens, right at the base of the stem, and I am slowly tearing the stem right there. You can also use garden shears or scissors if you want a more cleaner cut, but you can do it with your hands. So again, I'm going all the way to the base and I'm plucking it basically right from there, snapping the stem and then taking off the vegetable or the leaf part of the mustard greens. So our next step after harvesting is to remove all of the weeds so that way we can make our bed nice and clean and we only want good soil and crops that we are planning on eating. And so the way we remove the weeds is we take out anything that is a weed. So let's talk about what a weed is. So for example, grass is a weed. Weed means something that we basically don't want growing in our bed. The only thing we want growing in this garden bed is any vegetables that we are planning and we're planning on eating with our students or our community. So anything else is a weed and we want to remove that. So let's go through what it looks like to remove weeds. Okay, so let's go through the step of weeding now. So this grass is weeds, all of these little sprouts in the bed are weeds, there's more grass. So a lot of this garden bed is actually made of weeds and we want to remove all of that. And then if you look to the right here, these mustard greens are the veggies that we actually want to keep in the garden bed. Everything else that is not a vegetable we want to remove to clean it out. Okay, so now we're going to actually do the process of weeding. So here you can see me pulling out the grass. I'm using a spade to make it easier to remove the grass from the roots, and I'm cleaning out some of that extra mud because I can keep that back in the garden bed. Again, with the smaller weeds, I am pulling them out with a spade, shaking off that extra mud, and moving on. So we have to do this for all of the weeds that are in the garden bed. Just going to keep going. And now I'm pulling some out by the hand. And then you can see me continuing to pull out those weeds, shaking off that extra mud. Oh, look, I found a radish. Well, this radish is from last season, so we are not going to keep that in the garden bed. Basically, we want to remove everything, and then we will be getting ready to turn the soil to plant fresh produce. Okay, so the last step after you have removed all of the weeds, before you can get ready to plant seeds, is you need to turn the dirt or the soil. So the reason you do this is because you want to let air flow through the soil and loosen it up. So it's easier for you to make the holes for the seeds and so that all of the nutrients can get to the seeds and the water can also get to the seeds. So if the soil is too hard, there won't be a good transfer of nutrients or water throughout the soil, and so you want to use a spade like this one and you want to turn the soil around. Okay, so here you can see me turning the soil. I have weeded everything completely, and the final step, we're just turning the mud, getting it ready.